A few minutes ago, President Trump tweeted, "I have just ordered Homeland Security to step up our already extreme vetting program. Being politically correct is fine, but not for this." Joining us now, Graham Wood, national correspondent for The Atlantic and author of The Way of Strangers: Encounters with the Islamic State. Also with us, Hassan Hassan, co-author of ISIS Inside the Army of Terror and a senior fellow at the Tahrir Institute for Middle East Policy. And Graham, the president is saying, "I've just ordered Homeland Security to step up our already extreme vetting program." I thought he already did that.
Yes, that has been the line consistently has been, let's try to make sure that our ability to vet people who are coming in is stronger and stronger and stronger. Of course, this suspect seems to have come in long before 2010, and I really doubt that anything would have been found in 2010 that would have prevented his arrival.
Hassan, is the president saying tonight that there is a form of vetting that of better vetting in his mind that he's deciding to do now that the administration was not doing before today?
Just like Graham said, I think it's extremely really to vet, to know, identify people of such profile. I think it's really hard to do it. It's random. Usually, I mean, I read a report where a friend of his says he was a normal person. He liked the U.S. and he was like a smiley person. And this sort of information about people who commit such terror acts are common. So I don't think the government would have been able to do anything to prevent the coming of such a person. It's just a random thing.
We're getting a terrible detail reported to us just now about of the 8 victims who were killed in this attack. 5 of them were from Argentina. And Graham, that would indicate that this was a tourist group of some kind, and that's a tourist area where they were attacked today, which coincides with the attack in Nice. That seems to be something that this kind of attack aims for, is that sort of area.
Yeah, that's the exact MO of ISIS-style attacks, these truck attacks, is to find an area where large numbers of people are gathering and then completely indiscriminately attack them. And it really shows how little preparation was put into this, and how little care was put into actually finding, say, American victims. He was just trying to kill anyone he could find, and he found a place that was fairly densely populated and took the shot when he could.
And Hassan, what the decision window for something like this could be years, it could be months, and when you look at what happened today, it could be rather impulsive. All it required was to rent a pickup truck and drive down to that section of Manhattan. That's a decision that could have been made this morning.
Exactly, and I think one of the reasons why ISIS encourages such attacks is because they don't need a lot of preparation, and also because they don't need, it can be done on impulse. Someone driving and feels like it and does it, or something like that. So it doesn't need a lot of planning. It's designed to be really a sort of lone actor attack. So a person can do it on their own. They don't need training. They don't need to be directed by ISIS. And certainly because of the delay, and we haven't heard from ISIS saying anything about the attacker. We heard about him leaving a note behind. So it sounds like he did it on his own. He thought about it, and he did it without communicating with anyone about his intention.
And Graham, will ISIS claim this, even if there was no communication with them once they are aware of this note?
I think it's likely. If the note does indeed say that he was doing this for ISIS, that's all it takes in ISIS's eyes. They've been saying, you don't need to communicate with us, you shouldn't even communicate with us, just do it. And give some indication that it's for us, and if so, then it's an ISIS attack.
And Hassan, what does it mean that that ISIS is not succeeding on the ground in Iraq, in Syria at this point? This is not a good period for them. They are losing ground. Does that increase the likelihood of this kind of attack here?
No, I think this attack is a reminder of two things. I mean, ISIS has just lost its second capital in Syria, or the main capital, the first city that it controlled in 2014, Raqqa. And this attack happened soon after that. That indicates that people are not either are not paying attention, or because of an argument, a point I keep saying, which is that whatever ISIS does on the ground is no longer affects its appeal outside. So people still act in ISIS name, even though ISIS is retreating on the ground. And the reason is because ISIS has become, if you like, a mature organization, a full-fledged international terrorist organization that people can join because they think of it as a sort of a cause they can mobilize behind or rally behind.
Graham, what do you see as the relationship between what's happening to ISIS in Iraq and Syria and what we will see in terror here?
I think the most important thing to note is that the really most dangerous possible attacks would be of returnees from Syria, people who have been battle-hardened, who have kinds of the tactical abilities and the ability to plan. The fact that we no longer have spaces in Syria where they can shelter and plan like that, I think is a major victory. And so the types of horrible attack as we see today, with 8 people dead, that's tragic, but it's not as bad as it could be if some of the more competent killers were able to return. So I would hope that we see only these, and I use this word advisedly, these smaller attacks in the future.
Graham Wood and Hassan Hassan, thank you both for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it. Thank you.